Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now.
Let the water flow. I will speak to him directly. President John Dramani Mahama.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and Hit 103.9 FM here in Accra. We are on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. An affiliate in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Jata FM Karaga, Jatpa FM Pupe, AI Radio Bogatanga, Sky FM Sunyai, Space FM Takwa, and Radio Wa in Wa, live on X Spaces, Facebook, and YouTube. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Our top stories: President John Mahama submits 10 separate petitions to Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni, seeking the removal of EC Chair Jean Mensah, her deputies Bosman Asari and Samuel Tete, and Special Prosecutor Kisie Jabin. The petitions are now under review to determine if a prima facie case exists. Also, Chief Examiner rejects claims of tougher questions as A1C6 pass rate in 2025 WASI core mathematics falls to 48.73%, with WAEC listing 7 core weaknesses identified.
These are not topics that are outside the syllabus and they're not outside the test blueprint. From the general comment that was made, the chief examiners reported that the standard of the paper compared favorably.
Details as the Institute for Education Studies pushes for school-by-school level performance trends to identify the schools driving the national failure rate high.
Why are we in a rush to give specific reasons to why students didn't perform well when we don't know what is happening in individuals and which schools are bringing the national averages down?
We'll also take you to Buankrom, Techiman South of the Bono East region, where an ancient mango tree has become academic haven for learners.
This right here, KG1 through to Primary 3, nearly the entire lower primary structure, hold their lessons right here.
In sports,
we'll take you to Nigeria for updates on Ghana's participation in the West Africa Para Games.
Also in the bulletin, we'll take you to Aweya and Krampakrom, where a 180-unit modern resettlement community designed for families in the Lithium concession remains only on paper, stalled by Parliament's delay in ratifying the mining lease.
They came to demarcate our buildings and told us we would be relocated.
We even used some of the roofing sheet to put up a small pen for our livestock. All of this shows we genuinely plan to expand our home.
These and more with me, Pearl Ofori. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. In our first story, Joy News is learning that President John Dramani Mahama has forwarded 10 separate petitions calling for the removal of 3 heads of the Electoral Commission and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The individuals cited are EC Chair Jean Mensah and her 2 deputies in charge of corporate services, Dr. Bosman Eric Asari and Samuel Tete, in charge of operations, as well as the Special Prosecutor Kisie Ejabin. The President, we are learning, has acted on Article 70, Clause 2 of the Constitution and has forwarded the petitions to the Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni for determination of a prima facie case. While 7 out of the 10 petitions have been filed against the EC, there are 3 against the Special Prosecutor Kisie Ejabin. My colleague Fatal Bayaga joins me in the studio with details of this process. Now, Fatal, let's start with the removal process of the heads of the EC. What does the law say here?
Pearl, we have to first establish that the Constitution places both this EC Chair and the Special Prosecutor at the levels of Justices of the Appeals Court in terms of conditions of service, and the 2 deputies of the EC at the level of the High Court Justices. That is why their removal process will have to go through the prescriptions of Article 146, which says that if the President receives a petition for the removal of a Chief Justice of a Superior Court other than the Chief Justice, or for for the removal of the chairman of a regional tribunal, he shall refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall determine whether there is a prima facie case. Now, where the Chief Justice decides that there is a prima facie case, he's supposed to set up a committee, and the membership of this committee also prescribed under law, who shall investigate the complaint and make its recommendations to the Chief Justice, who shall forward it to the President. Now, at this point, Pearl, the President is directed by the Constitution to act on whatever recommendations the committee makes as to sack or not.
And Fatal, is this process any different at all from that of the Office of the Special Prosecutor?
Pearl, the OSP's removal process is not much different, except that this comes under Section 15 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, 2017 Act 959, providing some specific timelines to the process. Now, for instance, the President, once he receives the petition, has within 7 days to refer it to the CJ, who also has maximum 30 days to determine whether there is a prima facie case. And once that is done, he has to set up within 14 days a committee to investigate the issue. And at this particular committee, it has about 90 days maximum to finalize its work and make recommendation to on that matter. So, Pearl, supposing that the referral was done today, the CJ establishes a prima facie case in the OSP's petition. Then, by 140 days from today, Kisi Ejabin's fate should be determined.
Okay, thank you very much, Fatal Bayaga, for that update. Now, join us via telephone to give us some clarity on this is the Minister in charge of Government Communication, Felix Kwachiofusu. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time on the Midday News. First of all, please confirm to us if the President has received as much as 10 separate petitions, and when were they forwarded to the Chief Justice?
Well, I can confirm to you that the President has indeed received the referenced petitions in respect of the Electoral Commissioner and her deputies, and then the Special Prosecutor.
Are you able to tell us when they were forwarded to the Chief Justice?
Well, this happened sometime last week.
And also, is this on the advice of the Council of State?
Well, every process that needed to be on it has been undertaken. And the process for doing so is quite clear. So I heard your resource person in the studio take you through the process, and that is precisely what the President has followed. That is what I can say for now.
Finally, when is the Chief Justice expected to return to the President on the determination of this case or otherwise?
Again, at this stage, the process has left the hands of the President. Beyond conveying the petitions to the Chief Justice for the processes to continue, there is little else that the President does in this particular instance. So everything now rests with the Chief Justice, who I believe will act in accordance with Ghanaian law.
Thank you very much, Felix Kwachiofusu, and he's the government's spokesperson. Now let's move on to other stories. And the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has rejected claims that the 2025 WASI core mathematics paper was unusually difficult, despite the steep decline in performance that saw only 48.73% of candidates attain A1 to C6. Speaking on the Super Morning Show, WAEC's Head of Public Affairs, John Kapi, said the Chief Examiner's report confirms that this year's mathematics paper and other core subjects compare favorably with that of previous years, indicating that the poor performance cannot be blamed on any increase in difficulty. But before we listen to John Kapi, my colleague Kofi Eji joins me in the studio with a detailed breakdown of the 2025 WASI result. So Isaac, what more do we know about this poor performance in terms of historical analysis?
Well, so I think the focus has been in the last 4 years, but we will expand the conversation to 2016. And if you look at the data, for instance, English, which always comes first, this year's performance is the lowest in the last 4 years. For core maths, this year's performance is the lowest in 8 good years. Integrated science, lowest in 8 years. Social studies is the highest, lowest in the last 9 years. So if you are looking at the historical analysis between 2016 and 2025, this is what we know so far about the performance.
And what more can you tell us about how many students are we expecting, rather, not to qualify for degree programs this year?
Well, so we know that for degree programs, students or candidate must gain between A1 and C6. But per what we are learning so far and the data that we are analyzing so far, more than half, which is more than 51% of the candidates who sat for this year's WASSCE exams do not qualify for degree programs in universities across the length and breadth of the country because they were not able to meet the A1 to C6, threshold. That is about 51.23% of those who wrote this year do not fall within this category.
Isaac Ovieji, thank you so much for that breakdown. Well, some candidates say, though they prepared adequately for the exams, the questions were beyond their expectations.
With the social studies, the thing was that was our first written paper, so there was some kind of tension and pressure when we were about to write it.
Core maths was difficult, I won't lie. We have been solving past questions, but still, the core maths, I haven't even seen it before.
So nobody really thought that core maths questions would turn out that way in this WASSCE that we wrote. So the way we were actually taught was to be strategic in how to solving, diagram questions, how to be solving word problem questions and all that. So we didn't really bang much of our efforts and hopes on how word problem per se, because if I'm to remember correctly, the comments that we wrote from question 1 to question 5 was all word problem.
The topics we were given by WAEC to study for the exam, when the day for the exam arrived and we sat for the exam, none of the the topics we were given appeared on the question paper.
The WASSCE 2025 was quite interesting and shocking. Shocking in a way that a subject like maths per se, how we the students who wrote the exams is not how we have seen the results. Because although the maths were difficult, but we the students did something. We wrote something per se. But when the results came, most students got F9, and E8.
We can now listen to the head of public affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, who spoke on the Super Morning Show.
Obviously, these are not topics that are outside the syllabus and they're not outside the test blueprint. So, from the general comment that was made, the chief examiners reported that the standard of the paper compared favorably with that of the previous years.
For purposes of emphasis, can you repeat the 7 weaknesses that the chief examiner identified?
So, 1, representing mathematical information in a diagram. 2, solving global mathematics-related problems. 3, constructing cumulative frequency table from given data distribution. 4, making deductions from real-life problems. 5, solving application problems in simple interest. 6, translating word problems into mathematical expressions. And 7, interpreting of results from cumulative frequency curves.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Anti, is urging the public to avoid relying solely on national averages. Listen.
Why are we in a run to give specific reasons to why students didn't perform well when we don't know what is happening in individual schools, and which schools are bringing the national averages down and which schools are used to sustain the national averages? That is what we in the policy space, we in the educational system should be focused on, because this discussion should not end as we are doing well as a country or we are not doing well as a country. Okay. It should end as a place where we take a decision as to which schools need our support in order that we be able to bring their performance up to solve up the national average. It's just like the inflation we talk about. If you look at the basket of inflation, you will know that at every point in time, there are items that are driving inflation down or are pushing inflation up.
Now, still on Wasi, the Ghana Education Service has debunked claims by former Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei Edichum that the poor performance on this year's exams was due to unsupportive management practices by the GES, including cancellation of certain allowances to teachers. My colleague Fred Smith will join me later with details of what Dr. Yao Edichum has been saying. But before that, let's listen to the former Education Minister.
NDC by Omanya Mwampala. Now you make teacher for intervention grant allowance. Someone find the after school program. A day before school. No one from Mwampala. She said, "Na sa yabafu for na wo for musika before see ebebano. We are for now with scan no put for extra classes. Yaba na so baby. Yem pese onye so ebetra ono for extra classes." Any chairs come teachers, Emma headmasters nyabi, even cooks almost school nyabi. Someone from one column, no one prepare for the exam. And this program also muntia. Professional allowance, muntia. Anna and so him collect ya. Ofa go for casa. Enipa na dia mathematics and kunta. We enipa na dia mubako enya F.
My colleague Collins Frimpong joins me in the studio to explain what the former Education Minister said. What was he saying?
So, according to Dr. Yao Edichum, the measures that the former GES director led the then government to do, including payment of grants to the teachers to conduct after-school classes to help the students, the NDC government did not follow them. They cancelled all of them, and this has led to the mass failure.
Well, the GES, as we are learning, has debunked this allegation by the former Education Minister. My colleague, Johnny's editor, who is also my colleague, Fred Smith, joins me in the studio with details of that statement. Fred, what does the GES say in its statement?
Well, Pearl, it says that management has taken note of attempts by Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, the immediate past Minister for Education, to attribute the performance of students in the 2025 WASI to unsupportive management practices of GES. It is not true, it says, that the GES has cancelled any allowances due teachers as claimed by Dr. Edichum in his engagement with some media houses. Indeed, the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department has publicly clarified reasons for the non-payment of the November allowances for teachers. Now, GES says, urging the public to disregard the statement made by the former minister, Dr. Edichum, regarding the 2025 WASI results and treat them as an attempt to shift focus from his shortcomings in managing the examination process. Management of GES views the 2025 WASI results as a true reflection of academic performance of the candidates. And it continues by saying that the outcome is a credible representation of students' abilities. Now, prior to the examinations, the GES says the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service issued a firm directive that any teacher or official found aiding or abetting malpractices during the exam would face strong sanctions, and this was rigorously enforced. So the 2025 WASI was conducted under heightened invigilation, strengthened supervision, and strict adherence to examination protocols across all centers, and they say these measures significantly resulted in apprehension of some students and staff who have engaged in exam malpractices.
Thank you very much, Fred Smith. He's Johnny's editor. Now, in the heart of Buankrum, an ancient mango tree has become the most important teacher and most fragile classroom. Its branches offer shade, but no shelter from a harsh reality. This community's only school is collapsing. For nearly 200 young children, their first lessons in life and learning are happening not within the safe walls of a classroom, but under this tree as their actual school building crumbles. Anas Sabit has more in the following report.
This ancient mango tree, a symbol of life and abundance in Buankron, has become an unlikely hero. But it's a hero born of desperation. This right here, KG1 through to primary 3, nearly the entire lower primary structure, hold their lessons right here, day in, day out. Why? Because this dilapidated 2-unit block built by the community several years back is dying. Years of rain damage, neglect, and frustrated police have left it structurally unsound, too dangerous to enter. Nana Omono Asamoah Chipa for is the Odikru of this community.
Yes, we done. I say,
Deɛ nam so ma nkɔla bi nyɛ ni gye bia sɛ bɛbɛba school mu a bɛbɛ bɛsua deɛ. Bebree atifie.
When the rains come, and they will, learning doesn't just stop here. It becomes perilous. Inside is a no-go zone. Outside, under the tree, is a battle against elements. Sudden downpours, scorching sun, dust, and distractions no child should face daily. Fred Esiama is the assistant headmaster here.
Our infrastructure, the buildings and the environment, it is not all that good for teaching and learning activities. Somewhere 2023, the structure collapsed and we moved from the classroom to under the mango tree.
You're listening to the Midday News. Still to come, we'll take you to Ewoya and Krampakrum, where a 180-unit modern resettlement community designed for families in the Lithium concession remains only on paper, stalled by Parliament's delay in ratifying the mining lease. We have details of that plus sports when we
They came to demarcate our buildings and told us we would be relocated.
We even used some of the roofing sheet to put up a small pen for our livestock. All of this shows we genuinely plan to expand our home.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
In the name of the Lord Jesus, let there be a performance of your word and your word only.
The world gathers at Action Chapel International for Impact 2025 with the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Apostle Joshua Selman, Apostle Isi Igenegba, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, Bishop Bernard Ojuri Asari, Reverend Dr. Robert Ampia Kofi, and Reverend Dr. David Entry. Theme:
let there be a performance.
It's Sunday to Sunday of word, worship, prayer, divine encounters.
There is an anointing coming on you.
From Sunday 30th November,
it is time for the heavens to move.
Through Sunday 7th December.
I see somebody, you will arise.
Mornings at 9 a.m. and evenings at 5 p.m. at the Action Chapel International, Sprinters Road. Don't miss this year's special Impact Sunday joint services. 8 a.m. both Impact Sundays, Impact Friday services from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and all night from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next day.
Can't miss it. Look forward to seeing you. Be there.
Dear Santa, I don't want a lot this holiday. All I want this holiday is on DSTV, so I can watch all my favorite kids shows on Cartoon Network, Nick Jr. and Nicktoons. Also, Daddy can watch all his football games, and Mommy can watch all her telenovelas.
Ho ho ho! No Bronya Coco this Christmas. Get yourself or gift that special person a DSTV decoder as a Christmas gift today at 89 Ghana cedis. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Lucky's everywhere for everyone. Yeah.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
one ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community will win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And you're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time for sports. And at Chieftaincy is here, you have some news for us on the West Africa Power Games, rather.
Yes, and it's happening in Abeokuta, Nigeria, where Team Ghana has picked up 8 medals on the 3 of the maiden West Africa Zone A and B Power Games. My colleague Haruna Mubarak is in Abeokuta.
In para-powerlifting, Tahiru Haruna won bronze in the 72 to 107 kilogram class, while Isaac Obeng claimed silver in the 59 kilogram category. Daniel Kankam also secured bronze in the 65 kilogram event, giving Ghana 3 medals in that discipline. The success continued in parachuting, where Isaac Adople mounted the podium twice, winning silver and bronze in the pistol and rifle events. In para-badminton, 3 more medals were secured. Akosi Ankansa won bronze in the wheelchair women's singles. Hayford Kwame earned bronze in the wheelchair men's singles, while Ata also took bronze in the standing upper 5 category. Ghana's total medal count now stands at 8. Later today, Team Ghana will return to action in arm wrestling and sitting volleyball as the games continue until December 4.
That's Haruna Mubarak. He's live in Abeokuta.
Thank you very much, Achi, for that. Now let's take you to the Central Region. And a 180-unit modern housing project designed to resettle the people of Ewoya and Krampakrum remains on paper, stalled by Parliament's delay in ratifying Ghana's first lithium mining lease. For 2 years, residents have lived under a stop work order, unable to build, cultivate new lands or plan their future, while the fully designed new township, complete with homes, schools and social amenities, sits untouched. My colleague Emmanuel Jivenu has more in this week's episode of Hope on Pause, the Lithium Promise.
Abba Yamiati cooks on the clay stove in the middle of her compound, something she has done for years. 2 years ago, officials came and measured everything she owned, her rooms, farmlands, and placed a moratorium on all new developments in Krampakrum.
They came to demarcate our buildings and told us we would be relocated. They measured our rooms, the land, and took inventory of everything. And afterward, gave us photocopies of the validation form. The same process was carried out on our farmlands as well.
Abba fears any new development she undertakes could be destroyed or excluded from compensation.
The delay is a major worry. The stop work order means any new development won't be counted for compensation. They may even pull it down because the order is already in place.
Because I can't just stop work now, I do pay. Well, let's take you to the Ashanti region, and this afternoon there is heavy security presence at the Menchia Palace as representatives of Mamprusis and Kusasis, the 2 factions involved in the long-standing Boku Chieftaincy dispute, await the final determination by the Asante-Hene on the matter. President John Dramani Mahama mandated the Asante-Hene earlier this year to lead renewed efforts toward resolving the decade-old conflict. My colleague Emmanuel Bright Kweku is at the Menchia Palace and joins us now with the latest on this. Emmanuel, has the Asante-Hene given his final verdict yet?
All right, Paul. So for now, the Asante-Hene has not given his final verdict on the matter. We just had the arrival of the 2 factions, that's the Mampusi and Kusasi groups, arriving here at the 246 to the second hall here at the Menchia Palace. And so as we speak now, they are currently in the building and they are meeting the Asante-Hene for his final determination of this matter that has long killed or claimed a lot of lives here in the Boko and its environment. So for now, we are having the 2 factions meet the Asante-Hene, but his verdict, and we're hoping by the close of day would have it and we'll give it to you in a subsequent bulletin. Very
well. You also talk about heavy security presence. Can you briefly paint a picture for us?
All right, sure. So we are having the two security forces. We are having the military and also the police service here currently. I can cite quite a number of them, over 50 of them here at the Misha Palace. They are in their, some of them are in their armor car, some of them are also in the normal vehicles. And so it's quite a heavy security presence here.
That update from Emmanuel Bright Quick, who brings us to the end of the Midday News.